This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, guys, good evening. This is Syed Arbaz, and today we'll be discussing regarding the reproductive physiology, guys. So mainly what we are going to discuss in this reproductive physiology is the menstrual cycle and the related aspects to it. Only the female part we are discussing today, not the male physiology of reproduction. Reproductive system, guys, we have several systems like the nervous system, cardiovascular system. We have certain important systems which is essential for life. Yes, the respiratory system, the renal system, the endocrine system, and so is our reproductive system, which is not essential for life as such, but is essential to reproduce and to propagate our progeny, guys, to maintain the species, to maintain any species. Reproduction is necessary. So this is a function that we have. So what is the main function of reproduction, guys? To have a baby, guys. Yes, do you all know? You all know this. This is a baby nursery thing, everyone knows. To form this baby, first of all, there should be gametes, guys. Yes, there should be gametes, an ovum and a sperm, guys. So first these gametes should be produced inside the parent. Yes, the process by which the female gamete is produced, you all know, it is known as oogenesis, or some people call it as oogenesis. Yes, it is the oogenesis. And this is the spermatogenesis. Yes, you all know this. Yes, you all know this. The spermatogenesis and the oogenesis, when they will meet, they will form a zygote. They will form a zygote. But just formation of zygote is not sufficient. We have to form this zygote to this baby, to this complete baby, to this complete human being. What do we have to do? We have to provide this zygote a developing embryo, an environment which is necessary for its growth, survival, guys. Yes, we have to provide it an environment, guys. Environment. Yes, where is this environment given? Yes, where is this environment given? Inside the uterus. Yes, I think it is given inside the uterus, guys. So what inside the uterus is required for a baby to grow? First of all, my zygote, which is formed after the formation of blastocyst, it should get implanted on day 10 following fertilization. So if this is my fallopian tube, guys, if this is my fallopian tube, this is my uterus, guys. Yes, this is my uterus. Now this is the endometrium that I have. This is the endometrium that I have. The blastocyst that I have on day 10 of my fertilization, that should get implanted inside the endometrium. So the first process that should occur is implantation, guys. Yes, for this implantation to occur, my endometrium should be of adequate thickness, guys. It should be adequate thickness so that it can hold my developing embryo over there, and also help in the formation of my placenta, guys. Yes, I will be using the word my, but don't take it another way. We are discussing the female reproductive system. Yes, this is the endometrium, guys. This is the endometrium. Yes, so what I told you, for this implantation to be successful, we have to have an appropriate adequate thickness for that endometrium. So first of all, this endometrium will be not that much thick, so we have to make this endometrium thick by proliferation of cells of endometrium, guys. So what we have to do, we have to proliferate the cells of endometrium. Proliferate the cells of endometrium. Proliferation means increasing in the cell number, guys. Yes. And then these proliferated cells, when they form a thick endometrium, it has to be maintained throughout the pregnancy. We cannot just proliferate it and keep it like that. We have to maintain that proliferated endometrium throughout the pregnancy. Anytime during the pregnancy, this proliferated endometrium, if it sheds off, there will be miscarriage, guys. Yes, you all know. So proliferation is one aspect, then is one aspect the maintenance of this proliferated endometrium, guys. Yes, this is all that we know till now. Yes, in intermediate also we have studied in the reproduction chapter. Yes, Telugu Academy or NCERT textbook, we all know this from that. Also, we all know that the proliferation of the endometrium is done by a hormone known as the estrogen, guys. Yes, I think that is estrogen. Just a second. Yes, that is estrogen, guys. Estrogen, yes, estrogen. The maintenance of this proliferated endometrium is done by progesterone. You all know this. You all know this. So for the maintenance, for the baby to have a proper environment inside the uterus, my endometrium has to first proliferate. Then that proliferated endometrium has to be maintained. What will happen? So after certain amount of proliferation, the proliferation should stop, and that amount of if this much is if this was my previous one, after proliferation it has become this much, so it should not proliferate further. So proliferation should stop. What happens if it keeps on proliferating? It will not get blood supply, guys. This part of the endometrium, which is keeping on proliferating, will not get the blood supply and will undergo necrobiosis, guys. Yes, it will undergo the necrosis, and my endometrium will shed off because my blood vessels cannot keep on growing indefinitely, guys. Yes. So the proliferation of endometrium has to be till certain thickness only, guys. Yes. So who is keeping a check of that? Can we discuss over here? Yes, I think we can discuss. So we have the estrogen, guys. Yes, story we have not started yet. Story will start in a minute or two. Just the the trailer we are seeing now. Yes. So my proliferation should take place. This is the proliferation, yes, done by my estrogen. Yes, this is the estrogen. Then this proliferated endometrium has to be maintained, guys, maintained. Along with that, the proliferation should decrease. That means till certain time the proliferation has taken place. After that, the proliferation should decrease and the proliferated endometrium has to be maintained. These two functions are done by progesterone, guys, are done by progesterone. So what is progesterone doing? It is decreasing the proliferation and maintaining the proliferated endometrium, guys. Yes. Can I tell you a clinical correlate over here, guys? Yes, I think I can tell you a clinical correlate. What is this, guys? What is this OCP? What is this? Can anyone write in the chat box? Yes, OCP. Can anyone write in the chat box? Yes. Do I have any answers regarding that?
Yes, Arbaz. Oral contraceptive pill.
Yes, this is oral contraceptive pills. Now, what is my oral contraceptive pill doing, guys? Yes, what is doing? It will have several functions. It will have 3 to 4 functions. One of the function of oral contraceptive pill, what it contains, guys, what my oral contraceptive pill will contain? It will contain estrogen plus progesterone, guys. Estrogen plus progesterone. My estrogen will be of little quantity, my progesterone will be of greater quantity. So the progesterone which is present will decrease the proliferation of endometrium and maintain the endometrium at that level only, so that my endometrium is not formed, guys. Endometrium is not formed. If my endometrium is not formed, the fertilized zygote or the blastocyst cannot get implanted, so there will be no pregnancy. This is one minor mechanism. The major mechanisms are different. We are going to discuss this after a certain while. So the major mechanism is inhibition of gonadotropin secretion by negative feedback mechanism. You all know that. And also by decreasing the peristalsis of the fallopian tube. Yes. So all these are the functions, and by increasing the thickness of my cervical mucus. Yes, all that is there. So we have developed, I'll put this paper beside only, we have developed a quick story regarding that. Yes. So now what we will do is, we have to form this baby. We have to form this baby. For this baby, there should be uterus. There should be uterus. Yes, this is the uterus. This is the vagina. These are the two fallopian tubes. So there has to be an endometrium. So you all know how this endometrium is formed. But for this baby to form, there should be fertilization. Sperm will be coming from here. That is another different thing. Spermatogenesis. Let us discuss something about this oogenesis, guys. Before discussing about the oogenesis, let us discuss about the gonad developmental embryology, which is also your embryology question. It is a viva question. It is also a question in your physiology, guys, and also a very important clinical aspect, guys. Yes, can we now discuss that aspect? Yes, I think we can discuss. So let me take another pen over here. Yes, what we'll do is this is my embryo. This is the head end of the embryo. This is the head end of the embryo. This is my procaudal plate. Yes, yes. This is my anal plate. Yes, yes. This is the notochord of the baby. Yes, yes. This is the notochord. Now what will happen? Beside my notochord, I have paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, and the lateral plate mesoderm, which has now folded in the transverse axis. Yes, lateral plate mesoderm has folded and this embryo has formed. Now, beside my notochord, for example, if this is the notochord, beside my notochord, after paraxial mesoderm, I will be having intermediate mesoderm. So both the sides, I will be having the intermediate mesoderm. Can you imagine where am I drawing the intermediate mesoderm? Beside the notochord, guys. Blue color is my notochord. This is the notochord. Yes, I think you can imagine. You have developed that much imagination till now after these so many sessions of ours. Yes, this is the intermediate mesoderm, and here will be a sac known as the yolk sac, guys. Is this the yolk sac which will invaginate upwards? Yes, this is the yolk sac which will invaginate upwards and form foregut, midgut, and hindgut like this. Yes, I think it will form foregut, midgut, and hindgut. Near the yolk sac over here will be the yolk sac mesoderm, guys. What is this? I think this is the yolk sac mesoderm. Yolk sac mesoderm. Yes, this yolk sac mesoderm is nothing but your developing germ cells, guys. What are these? The developing germ cells, the progenitor cells of your progenital cells of your gametes, the developing germ cells. Where are they forming? This location is very important, guys. Where are they forming? In the yolk sac mesoderm, which will migrate towards the intermediate mesoderm, guys. Where are they migrating? They are migrating to intermediate mesoderm. What is migrating? Yolk sac mesoderm primordial germ cells, the developing the germ cells. Yes, yes. Where are they migrating? To the intermediate mesoderm. So have they migrated now, guys? Yes, I think they have migrated. Now this intermediate mesoderm, which part? Intermediate mesoderm will have a nephrogenic cord and a genital ridge. Do you all know this? I think you all know this. What it will have? A nephrogenic cord like this, a nephrogenic cord, and beside that a genital ridge, a genital ridge. The genital ridge is going to form my ovary and the testis. In males it is forming the testis, and in female it is forming the ovary. What it is forming? What is forming ovary? The genital ridge. Where is the genital ridge present? In the intermediate mesoderm, guys. Yes, yes. So my intermediate mesoderm has formed this genital ridge, which will give rise to my ovary, guys. This is the ovary which is present. Yes, yes. Is this the ovary? Yes, this is the ovary. So what will my ovary have? These germ cells which have migrated to my intermediate mesoderm present in the genital ridge will be present in my ovary now. Yes, will be present in my ovary. So now these migrated germ cells over here are known as oogonia, guys. What are they known as? They are known as oogonia. What are they known as? They are known as oogonia. Should I remind you that this entire process is taking place during the development inside the uterus? Yes, yes. The baby is there inside the uterus. Inside the uterus only, the developing baby has developed this ovary, and this process is taking place over here. What process is taking place? Let us discuss some more in detail. So this entire thing is the uterus of my mother. Yes, this is the entire thing is the uterus of the mother. This is the vagina. Yes, yes. So here is the developing baby. So this to show the stages, let us draw like this. Yes, this is the yolk sac. This is the notochord. This is the intermediate mesoderm over here. The germ cells have migrated from here to here. Yes, have they migrated? Yes, I think they have migrated. Now what we will do? Yes, this is the gonad. Sorry, this is the ovary. Yes, ovary of baby. This ovary. We are not drawing the entire baby, just drawing the ovary of that baby. Why am I drawing the ovary of that baby? To show what is happening inside the ovary of the baby, inside the uterus of the mother. Yes, yes. So what is happening now? These germ cells which have migrated will now be known as what, guys? Oogonia. Can you write down, guys? Yes, oogonia. Oogonia. Oogonia are nothing but cells. Will these cells be diploid or haploid, guys? All the cells over here are diploid. In an embryo which is formed by fertilization from sperms and ovum will be a diploid structure. So unless a meiosis takes place, all the structures, all the cells will be diploid. So my oogonia will be diploid, guys. Yes, are my oogonia diploid over here? Yes, these are diploid, guys. 2 and diploid. Yes. Now what will happen? Our gamete should be produced. What is the function of this ovary? To produce gamete. To produce gamete. Are my gametes haploid or diploid? They are diploid. Sorry, they are haploid. They are haploid. So for my oogonia to form a haploid gamete, it should undergo meiosis, guys. Yes, it should undergo meiosis, and you all know meiosis will have two stages, the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 2. Yes, yes. So in the baby inside the uterus before birth, inside the fetal, in fetal life, in the ovary of the fetus, yes, oogonia will first undergo some mitotic division so that they form cells which are diploid, known as the primary oocyte. What are these known as? Primary oocyte, guys. Oocyte. Oogonia are forming oocyte, both of which are diploid. What is the importance of forming oocyte from oogonia, primary oocyte from oogonia? So that my number of gametes are more. So the number of gametes which are produced over here, they are more in number, so that my primary oocytes are oogonia dividing into primary oocyte. This primary oocyte should now undergo meiosis 1 and it will undergo meiosis 2. Yes, so this is starting to undergo meiosis. So this is undergoing meiosis and it should complete the meiosis 1 over here and complete the meiosis 2 over here. But this is not taking place, guys. This is not taking place. This meiosis is not getting completed. It is getting arrested in the prophase 1 only. So what is happening? My primary oocyte, which was undergoing meiosis, trying to undergo meiosis, is not able to complete the meiosis and has been arrested in the prophase 1, guys. Yes, I think it is easy to understand. So inside the baby, what will be formed? Primary oocyte, which is arrested in prophase 1, prophase of meiosis 1. Which stage of this thing? Prophase 1 will have 4 stages, right? 5 stages, I think. Leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotene, and diakinesis. Yes, do I have all these stages over here? Yes. Diplotene is the substage of prophase 1 where it is arrested. Sometimes in Viva, professors tend to ask this question. Everyone will tell that this is arrested in the prophase 1, but which stage of prophase 1? The diplotene stage, guys. The diplotene. Leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotene, diakinesis, all these stages are there. So the diplotene stage is the stage where this primary oocyte is getting arrested. So this baby will now take birth. This baby will now take birth. Now this baby will reach puberty. Now this baby which has reached puberty in the menarche, this is the baby, this is the uterus now. This is the lady now, not baby but lady. So my at puberty, this lady, what will it have? Will it have oogonia? Will it have primary oocyte? Will it have secondary oocyte? Will it have, what will it have?
They're
Yes,
replying primary oocyte.
main cells would be my primary oocyte, guys. Yes, yes, because in the intrauterine life only these primary oocytes were formed. Yes, can you see over here in the intrauterine life only these primary oocytes have formed, which were arrested in the prophase 1. So I am writing this as primary oocyte or P1, guys. P1, guys. Yes. Now these primary oocytes should form a gamete, which is sent out. Okay, okay, I think I should draw a different diagram for this. Yes, let us take this page now. So what I'm trying to draw is, just a second. Yes. So this is the fallopian tube. This is the fallopian tube. This is the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube. Fimbrial end of the fallopian tube. This is the ovary. बड़ा होता ना था ovary को जान छोड़ो. This is the ovary. This is the ovary, and this is the uterus, guys. Yes, this is the uterus. So what did I have? I had the primary oocyte as my first cell. Primary oocyte P1, which was arrested in the prophase 1 of meiosis. The lady has now reached the puberty. So lady is now pubert. Sorry, Puberty. The lady has reached puberty. In puberty, it had the primary P1 yolks. This thing, primary oocyte. Yes, P1 or the primary oocyte. Now, this primary oocyte will undergo certain changes, certain cyclical changes, and release ovum by process known as ovulation. This ovum will be collected by the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube. Yes, inside the ampullary isthmus junction, this ovum will meet with the sperm. Yes, and a zygote will be formed. Yes, this zygote has to be implanted inside the proliferated endometrium. So now, for this proliferation of endometrium, I told you estrogen and progesterone is helping. Yes, estrogen is helping in proliferation, and for maintenance, progesterone is helping. So where this estrogen and progesterone is coming from? From these cyclical changes only estrogen will come. From these cyclical changes only progesterone will come. So these cyclical changes are responsible for both the production of gamete and the formation of environment for the implantation of gamete. That is my development of the endometrium. So what is the function of my menstrual cycle? Why is my menstrual cycle taking place? So first of all, let us define the menstrual cycle. What is menstruation and what is menstrual cycle? Menstruation, guys. The menstruation and menstrual cycle are two different terms, guys. Yes, yes. The menstrual cycle is nothing but a cyclical events that are taking place. Cyclical events that are taking place consisting of formation of the proliferation of the follicles over here, then the ovulation. Yes, then the ovulation, then these uterine changes. So my menstrual cycle will have two things: the ovarian changes, and the uterine changes, guys. The uterine changes. The ovarian changes are nothing but, first of all, these follicles have to proliferate. Yes, this is known as follicular phase. Yes, this is known as the follicular phase, where the follicles have to first proliferate. After the follicles have proliferated, the ovum will be released out. This process is known as the ovulatory phase, guys. Ovulatory phase. So how many phases do I have in my ovary? How many phases do I have? The follicular phase and the ovulatory phase, guys. Yes, do I have these two phases? Yes. Yes. Then do I have, after ovulation, the Graphene follicle? After ovulation will form corpus luteum, which we are going to see just an overview. I'm telling, that is known as the luteal phase. Yes, luteal phase, guys. Yes, the uterine changes that are taking place are the menstrual phase, yes, the proliferative phase, yes, yes, and the secretory phase. Now what are these two phases? These phases are occurring simultaneously. The ovarian changes are taking place simultaneously, the uterine changes are taking place. The uterine changes are due to the hormones secreted by ovarian changes. Are you understanding? Yes, these uterine changes, the proliferation and the maintenance, are due to the ovarian changes. So both of them are taking place simultaneously, guys. Yes. Now what is menstruation then? Menstruation this menstrual phase of the uterus is nothing but menstruation. So if you want me to define this menstruation, if you define it in this way in YY examination, they will give you full marks, because this definition is from the Datta textbook of gynecology. What is this definition? Menses or menstruation is nothing but the visible manifestation of the cyclical events taking place inside the human body, inside the female body. Yes, they are the visible manifestations in the form of bleeding, occurring due to shedding of the endometrium, which is as a result of cyclical events taking place inside the female body, guys. Yes, these are the visible manifestations in the form of bleeding occurring due to shedding of endometrium, which is due to cyclical events taking place inside the female body following puberty. Yes, am I clear with the definition of menstruation? Menstrual cycle is this thing, and menstruation is just the bleeding is known as menstruation. Is it clear? I think it is clear. So what should I say now? I should say that in detail what is happening over here and how both these things are taking place. Yes, so let me take this part. Let me take a pen and then we will see. Yes, so just concentrate over here. Let us draw that again. This is my fallopian tube. I think this is the fallopian tube, and this is the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube, guys. Yes, is this the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube? Yes. This is the ovary, guys. Yes, this is the ovary. And this is the uterus, guys. Yes, this is the uterus. Is this the uterus? I think this is the uterus only. This is the uterus. So I had primary oocyte. This is the primary oocyte, which is arrested in the prophase 1 of the meiosis 1. So the prophase 1 of meiosis. Till now it is clear. Now what is taking place? This primary oocyte will get surrounded by flat layer of cells. Flat layer of cells. Yes, flat layer of cells. Where these cells are coming from? From the stroma of the ovary. Yes. Now this primary oocyte plus this flat layer of cell is known as a follicle, guys. Which follicle it is? It is primordial follicle. It is known as primordial follicle. Can someone make the feedback form? Ask Anand to make feedback form and share in the WhatsApp group. Yes, panelists. Primordial follicle. What is primordial follicle? My primary oocyte, which were there from the birth in the puberty, they will get surrounded by flat layer of cell derived from stroma and is now known as the primordial follicle. Yes. Now these flat layer of cells will become cuboidal, and the primary oocyte is surrounded by now cuboidal nature of cells. Yes. Is it now surrounded by the cuboidal nature of cells? Yes, it is surrounded by the cuboidal nature of cells. Now, if it was surrounded by flat layer of cell, it was known as the primordial follicle. If it is now surrounded by the cuboidal nature of cells, it will be known as the primary follicles, guys. What is it known as? The primary follicles. Yes, I think it is clear. Yes. Now the primary follicles had cuboidal cells. Now what will happen? The cuboidal cells will proliferate and form the granulosa cells and the theca cells. What are they forming, guys? Yes, what are they forming? The cuboidal cells which are present in my primary follicle are proliferating and forming what? This is the granulosa cell layer. This is the theca cell layer, inside which I have my primary oocyte, which has been arrested in the prophase of meiosis 1. So this follicle is now known as the secondary follicle. Have a complete clarity of what these follicles are, because this is not given in very much clarity in the textbooks. Yes, this has been extracted from the Datta textbook of gynecology, so you can have a clarity on this. This is the primary oocyte, which is arrested in the prophase 1 of the meiosis, which is surrounded by granulosa cells and theca cells. It is known as the secondary follicle now. Yes. Now these granulosa cells will proliferate. Point number 1. over here, what I want to tell you, a very important point. All these events, guys, all these events, yes, are taking place under the influence of one hormone released from pituitary, guys. Yes, this hormone is follicle stimulating hormone, guys. What that hormone is? Follicle stimulating hormone. What my follicle stimulating hormone will do? It will cause the proliferation of my follicles. It will stimulate the follicles. Follicle stimulating. It will stimulate the follicles to undergo proliferation. What is follicle? Oocyte plus granulosa cells and theca cells is nothing but the follicle. So my follicle stimulating hormone FSH released from my pituitary, what it will do? It will tell the follicles to proliferate the granulosa cells. Now what will happen? Granulosa cells, when they will proliferate, they will secrete one hormone. Which hormone do my granulosa cells secrete? They will secrete estrogen, guys. Yes, estrogen, where it is coming from the body. The proliferating granulosa cells is nothing but the source of estrogen, guys. Yes, yes. Now what will happen? This follicle stimulating hormone will keep on stimulating from primary to secondary, secondary to antral follicle. Antral follicle. Is this the antral follicle? Yes. What is antral follicle? Nothing but this proliferated. Let me draw over here. This is the proliferated granulosa cells. All granulosa cells are proliferating. So these are my proliferating granulosa cells. Granulosa. Like the trophoblast used to proliferate inside the, that thing, our blastocyst. Same way, the granulosa cells. Now here will be the flat theca cells, guys. Theca interna, theca externa. Don't worry. Yes, granulosa cells. So my primary oocyte, which was there, it will be attached over here at one pole of my follicle. This enlarged follicle with a cavity inside, is known as the antral follicle, guys. What it is known as? The antral follicle. What is antral follicle? A cavity known as antrum is forming inside my follicle, Now the granulosa cells will secrete some fluid inside this antral follicle, and this will be filled with a fluid called as antral fluid. This antral fluid will push my primary oocyte towards one pole, Now this part, this complete structure where antrum of the follicle is filled with a fluid, granulosa cells are there, theca cells are there with theca externa and theca interna. My primary oocyte is pushed to one pole of the follicle, which is attached through a stalk-like structure called as what it is called. I'm not remembering, something it is called. Yes, and surrounded by some cells, granulosa cells known as the cumulus oophorus. Yes, this entire structure is nothing but the Graphene follicle, guys. Yes. What is this known as? The Graphene follicle. So what is Graphene follicle? Graphene follicle is nothing but it is one of the developing stage of the follicles. Yes. Can you see my Graphene follicle have more number of granulosa cells? Yes, my Graphene follicle has more number of granulosa cells. So it will secrete more estrogen. Yes, it will secrete more estrogen. This is the Graphene follicle. All this is the antral cavity and all this is the Graphene follicle. Have you seen this? Yes. So my estrogen is secreted. Yes. What will this estrogen do? It will do three things. What it will do? It will do three things. What are those three things? First of all, due to feedback inhibition, it will inhibit the secretion of follicle stimulating hormones so that my follicles don't grow further. Point number one, what it is doing? Estrogen, which was produced from my developing follicle ke granulosa cells, it will inhibit the feedback inhibition. It will give feedback inhibition to the pituitary to don't secrete more FSH now. Yes. Now what it will do? It will give a positive feedback to the pituitary to secrete a hormone known as luteinizing hormone. Which hormone? Luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone will be keeping on secreting over here, but my estrogen will enhance its secretion and cause a surge of this hormone. Which surge it is causing? It is causing a surge of luteinizing hormone, which is known as the LH surge. So what is causing my LH surge? We will revise this two more times. I'm telling not one more time, two more times. So bear with me. Yes. So my developing follicles have secreted estrogen, which will inhibit the FSH and cause a positive feedback for LH surge. Yes, due to my LH surge, my ovulation is taking place. So how exactly the LH surge is causing ovulation, we will see. This will come under the answer of ovulation. Yes, question of ovulation. Let us one more function. I told three functions. I told one function is this of estrogen, one function is this of estrogen. Another function of estrogen is this estrogen will cause proliferation of my endometrium over here. Can you see, guys? Yes, it will cause proliferation. So these developing follicles have secreted a hormone. This hormone is causing the uterine changes. So this is the proliferative phase of my menstrual cycle. Proliferative. So my proliferative phase of the uterus is coinciding with follicular phase of the ovary. Yes, this is the follicular phase, right? Yes, it is the follicular phase. So my follicular phase of the ovary is coinciding with the proliferative phase of the uterus. Yes. Why it is due to? This is due to the hormone known as estrogen, guys. Yes, yes. Now what will happen? Estrogen itself has caused the LH surge. This LH surge will cause ovulation. If someone asks you from now, what is the stimulating factor for ovulation, guys? What is the stimulating factor for ovulation? What will you tell? You will tell LH surge, guys. What you will tell? You will tell LH surge. I think we can discuss it now over here once again. Yes, yes, how ovulation is taking place. LH surge has occurred. LH surge. Your Sembulingam textbook has a good flowchart for ovulation. You can see over there. Due to the due to the LH surge, there will be, what will be there? There will be proliferation of blood vessels. This is the Graphene follicle. My blood vessels will proliferate inside the Graphene follicle. So this is the ovary. This is the ovary. From the ovary, the blood vessel will proliferate inside the Graphene follicle. Yes, yes. Now what will happen? There will be my prostaglandin secretion. LH surge is causing blood vessel proliferation and prostaglandin secretion. Prostaglandin will cause vasodilation or vasoconstriction. PGE2, what it will do? It will cause vasodilation, guys. So this will cause vasodilation. Yes, has it caused vasodilation? Yes, I think it has caused vasodilation. So there will be fluid entry over here. Yes, there will be fluid entry over here. Then one more thing my prostagland is doing is causing thinning of this wall. Yes, thinning of the wall of the Graphene follicle. Yes, yes, thinning of the wall of the Graphene follicle. Now, due to the vasodilation, there is entry of fluid inside the Graphene follicle, which will burst my Graphene follicle and the fluid along with my ovum. What should I call? Which oocyte was present till now over here? Which oocyte was present? Primary oocyte or secondary oocyte? In my Graphene follicle, which oocyte was present? Why secondary? Who is telling secondary? Did I discuss secondary till now? No, no. Don't get confused with follicles. This is a secondary follicle. This is Graphene follicle. Inside the follicle, you will have oocyte. So from birth till now, we are having only primary oocyte. See, only primary oocyte. Till LH surge, we will have primary oocyte. Once LH surge occurs, just before ovulation, this primary oocyte will complete meiosis 1 and form secondary oocyte, guys. Secondary oocyte. So just before ovulation, due to LH surge, my primary oocyte, which was arrested in the prophase 1, completes the entire meiosis 1 and now forms the secondary oocyte. Yes, is it clear? Type yes. Or else type whichever point you want me to repeat, type repeat. Nevertheless, I'm going to repeat entire thing again. Yes, yes or no? Clear? Is it clear? Yes, okay. So is Mustafa there in the meeting today? Mirza Mustafa. Yes, you are there. So I want to test if I have taught clear enough. I want you to tell me or type what will my secondary follicle have. You can unmute and tell. What will my secondary follicle have? Or else you can type also. Others, if you want to type, you can also type. Yes, are there any answers? I will have to check. I think there are no panelists today. कहाँ है कौन बोल रहे कहाँ है मुस्तफा क्या की बोल रहे सब जने yes primary oocyte is no doubt there. Just primary oocyte is not my follicle. Primary oocyte plus granulosa cells plus theca cells is nothing but my secondary follicle. What is the primary follicle then? Primary oocyte plus cuboidal shaped cell is my primary follicle. What is primordial follicle? Primary oocyte, just flat layer of cells is the primordial follicle. This is what I wanted you to tell. What is the antral follicle? Antral follicle is nothing but antral cavity is forming. What is Graphene follicle? This entire structure which with large granulosa cells, with antral follicle, with antral fluid, yes, with this cumulus oophorus, this then discus proligus and all those things. You can read the structure in detail. I think you all have read also. Yes, this entire structure is the Graphene follicle. Yes, this is the Graphene follicle. Nevertheless, let us start again, come here and then discuss another points. Just a second, my white papers. Okay. Yes. So guys, for formation of my baby, for formation of the baby, there should be gamete and also there should be proper environment for that gamete to develop. That proper environment for that gamete to develop is nothing but my endometrium, guys. This is the endometrium. Yes. So this is the fibril end of the fallopian tube, and here is the ovary, guys. Yes, ovary will have the primary oocyte, guys. Ovary will have primary oocyte. Where have they come from? The primary oocyte were developed from the oogonia, guys. Oogonia by mitosis or meiosis. Yes, they have been developed from mitosis. Where have the oogonia derived from? From the prime germ cells, guys. From the germ cells. Yolk sac mesoderm has migrated towards the from the to the genital ridge, which is forming my ovary. Yes, which is forming my ovary. These are the primary oocyte which were arrested in the prophase of meiosis 1. So my baby was born with this. My baby was born with prophase 1. Till puberty, it will be same. And there will be keeping on developing. Thoda development होते रहता. Now my primordial follicle was my primary oocyte was surrounded by flat layer of cells. Yes, this follicle is known as the primordial follicle. What is a follicle? Oocyte plus cell surrounding it is known as a follicle. So primary oocyte plus flat cells is known as primordial follicle. Yes. Now these cells have become cuboidal. This is important. That's why I'm stressing this too much. Yes. The cuboidal nature of cells. Yes, cuboidal nature. This is known as the primary follicles. This is known as the primary follicles. Then what happens? Then secondary follicle will form. What will be secondary follicle? It will have a primary oocyte which was arrested in the prophase of the meiosis one, surrounded by the granulosa cells, then by the theca cells. This is the secondary follicle. Yes, all this is taking place inside the influence of one hormone secreted from the pituitary. This is the FSH, guys. FSH. Due to this proliferation, the granulosa cells, the Graphene follicle will form. Yes, Graphene follicle will be forming. Yes, the Graphene follicle will also have proliferated granulosa cells. The granulosa cells are source of my estrogen, guys. Are these the source of my estrogen? Yes, this is the source of estrogen. The estrogen bit will do three functions. First, it will give feedback inhibition to FSH. Don't secrete more FSH. It will give positive feedback to the LH to cause LH surge, guys. Yes, LH surge. Yes, LH surge. This is the LH surge. LH surge. Then one more function this estrogen is doing is it will causing the proliferation of my endometrium. Is it causing? Yes, I think it is causing. Now what will happen? Now this estrogen के functions हो गए. LH के functions क्या है? LH surge हो गया. Now what this LH surge is doing? It is causing ovulation by the process I told you earlier. What was that process? LH surge is causing thinning of this Graphene follicle ka wall. Graphene follicle ka wall. Yes, yes. And also it is causing release of prostaglandins. Yes. And also inside the blood vessels are proliferating. Yes. So there will be fluid entry inside this Graphene follicle. Yes, which will cause bursting of this Graphene follicle and release of fluid along with the oval, along with the primary oocyte. Yes. Will the primary oocyte be released? No, no, no. So my LH surge is doing two functions. One function is conversion of my primary oocyte to secondary oocyte by completion of meiosis 1. So simply you can say my LH surge is resuming my meiosis 1 which was arrested, which was paused. Yes, it was paused for certain years of life. Yes, it was paused. After this LH surge, this is resumed just before ovulation. What is ovulation? Release of ovum is nothing but ovulation. Just before ovulation, it has entered into the secondary oocyte. So one more meiosis is remaining. Only meiosis 1 is completed. You will have two meiosis, right? Two phases of meiosis. Meiosis 1 is completed. Another one meiosis is remaining, pending hai, udhar hai wo meiosis, rakho usko वैसे. So ovum with secondary oocyte is released. What is this? Can you call this ovum? No, you have to call it secondary oocyte, or you can call it ovum also. You can call it ovum or secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte will be taken up by fimbrial end of the fallopian tube, where it will go due to the beating of my cilia, due to the beating of the cilia, where it will go to the ampullary isthmus junction. So let us see once again, not to get confused. Yes, not to get confused. Yes, not to get confused. Let us see once again. This is the fallopian tube. This is the fimbrial end. Due to the ovarian changes, estrogen was released, FSH was released. Due to FSH, follicles develop. For developing follicles, granular cells secreted estrogen. Estrogen causes negative feedback to the FSH and positive feedback to LH, causing LH surge. Yes, LH surge, which was causing primary oocyte to undergo into secondary inside the Graphene follicle only. Yes. Now LH surge was also causing ovulation. This is ovulation. Ovulation. Yes, ovulation means release of ovum. This ovum was catched up by the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube. Yes, it came to the ampullary isthmus junction. Now, within how much time should the sperm come and fertilize this ovum for my zygote to form successfully? 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 5 days, 7 day, 1 year, 2 year, how much? What are you telling? Fatima is correct. Only 24 hours. The lifespan of my sperm inside the female genital tract is indeed 72 hours. Indeed, it is 48 to 72 hours. But fertilization has to occur within 24 hours only. Yes? Is it clear? Yes. It has to occur within 24 hours. Intermediate का था ये question, NEET का नहीं पढ़े मतलब, ठीक है. Then what is happening? What had happened? Estrogen was also doing one more function, that is proliferation. क्या क्या बना अपना? Environment बन गया, proliferation हो रहा. So this proliferation is keeping on occurring because there is estrogen coming. So ovulation has occurred, ovum has come, fertilization has occurred. Fertilization has occurred. We have to now maintain this endometrium. For that we require progesterone. Now climax of the story है, 10 मिनट में class खत्म हो जाती, but this is the most important. Progesterone. Yes. This Graphene follicle, after rupture and release of ovum, the remaining theca externa, theca interna, granulosa, and anything which is remaining inside is known as what? You all know, corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is doing nothing but secreting progesterone. What this progesterone will do? It will maintain my endometrium, guys. What it will do? It will maintain the proliferated endometrium. Yes. Will it maintain? Yes, I think it will maintain. Then it will decrease the proliferation. I told you there are two things the progesterone is doing: maintain the proliferated endometrium and decrease the further proliferation. Yes, decrease the proliferation. What is the time? I think it is 8. So yes, proliferation. Progesterone is increased. Should this progesterone be there? My fertilization has taken place. Sperm has come, met with the ovum. So this after 10 days the implantation will occur. So this proliferated endometrium has to be maintained till 9 months of pregnancy. 9 months of pregnancy. So till 9 months my progesterone to be there. So till 9 months my progesterone should be there. Who is secreting this corpus luteum? Who is secreting this corpus luteum? Will my corpus luteum be there for 9 months? No, it will not be there for 9 months. It will get atretic. Every cycle it will get atretic. So some hormone should be there to preserve this corpus luteum for some time so that it keeps secreting the progesterone. Yes. How will that? What is that hormone? That is beta HCG, guys. What is that? Beta HCG. Where it is coming from? General embryology. I only taught you what general embryology. Sperm plus ovum, zygote, inner cell mass, outer cell mass, trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, syncytiotrophoblast. So the syncytiotrophoblast is secreting beta HCG. Very, 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 very important structure. All of you type, who is secreting beta HCG? All of you type. Yes, Newton's apple, very good. Type. Yes, everyone. What? Placenta. Who is that? Who is typing placenta? Placenta will secrete, but primarily syncytiotrophoblast. Others are not typing. Yes, syncytiotrophoblast, because there are some disorders over here. Syncytio. Others also type. More 5 I should get. Then I will resume the class because this is very important. Syncytiotrophoblast. Syncytio. Okay, 2 more. Yes. Completed now. So the syncytiotrophoblast is secreting beta HCG, which will maintain my corpus luteum, and corpus luteum will be keeping on secreting progesterone and will maintain my this thing, endometrium. So this is the scenario only if fertilization takes place. If fertilization doesn't take place, no sperm has come within 24 hours, no zygote, no proliferation of this zygote cells, no trophoblast, no cyto, no syncytio, no beta HCG. So my corpus luteum, there is no stimulus for it to maintain. So my corpus luteum will become atretic and form corpus albicans. Yes, it will form corpus albicans. Otherwise, we can say that the corpus luteum is getting necrosed or atretic, or my corpus luteum is dying. So if my corpus luteum dies, there will be no progesterone. If there will be no progesterone, there will be no one to maintain my endometrium. Yes, if there is no one to maintain this endometrium, the endometrium will be shed off. This is nothing but in the form of the meniscus, guys. What is this? In the form of meniscus or the menstrual bleed, guys. Why bleed is occurring? Because there is no fertilization, there is no hormone to maintain the corpus luteum, so there is no progesterone. Due to this term you have to mention, due to progesterone withdrawal. Write down big letters. Due to progesterone withdrawal, my menses is occurring. Another time I'm telling, due to the progesterone withdrawal, the menses is occurring. Yes, yes. What will happen due to progesterone withdrawal? 1-2 steps are there. If you know that in detail, that is very good. I will tell you. So what is happening in the due to progesterone withdrawal? So progesterone was there, which was maintaining my endometrium. Due to progesterone withdrawal, sudden withdrawal, अब नहीं है progesterone, आ रहा था corpus luteum मर गया, अब नहीं है progesterone नहीं है तो MMP बोल के एक एंजाइम रहता है, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? मैट्रिक्स मेटालोप्रोटीएस. What is this? मैट्रिक्स मेटालोप्रोटीएस बोल के एक एंजाइम रहता है. And other is prostaglandins. What they will do? They will cause vasoconstriction. If there is vasoconstriction, blood supply to the endometrium will not be there. That is why endometrium will shed off. And due to this vasoconstriction, only females will get pain during menstruation. Is pain during menstruation a normal phenomenon or abnormal phenomenon? Normal or abnormal? Can you write down? Pain during menstruation. Pain is a normal phenomenon, but excessive pain is abnormal. Excessive pain is abnormal. Yes, yes. Excessive pain is abnormal, which is called as dysmenorrhea. Yes, yes. Now, this pain which is there, what it will signify? If my cycles are painless, if menstrual bleed is without any pain, it is normal or abnormal? Without any pain, normal, abnormal? No, it is abnormal. Without pain, menstrual bleed is abnormal. Pain has to be there. Pain has to be there. Why am I telling without this thing pain is abnormal? Because if I don't have pain, if a female doesn't have pain, that means vasoconstriction is not not taking place. That means prostaglandin is not being secreted. That means all these are not getting secreted. That means there is no progesterone withdrawal. Painless cycle means no progesterone withdrawal. So if there is no progesterone withdrawal, that might signify that there was no progesterone at all. Yes. That means no ovulation has taken place. Yes. My anovulatory cycle sometimes will present with painless cycles. Anovulatory, no ovulation, will sometime present with painless cycle. So some amount of pain should be there. If a female is coming darad ho raha during menstruation, that is a normal thing. Yes, excessive pain is abnormal. Yes, painless cycles are abnormal. Yes, why? That means ovulation has not taken place. So my anovulatory cycles are abnormal, guys. Yes, can you write in the chat box if you have understood this? Yes or no? Yes, चलो हो गया, थोड़ा है अब ये क्लाइमैक्स को थोड़ा अपन एक वो दे देंगे. Just a second, what I need to discuss, I have discussed this phases, थोड़ा बता दे के यहाँ पे हो गया bleed हो गया, थोड़ा phases को correlate कर लेंगे. So this is a big circle, this is small circle. In small circle, inner circle, this is the outer circle. In inner circle I will write ovarian changes. In outer circle I will write uterine changes. So ovarian changes, what are the two ovarian changes? Follicular phase and luteal phase. So I will write this once again, guys. Once again I will write. Yes, primordial follicle. Yes, with primary oocyte. This is the primary follicle with cuboidal cells with primary oocyte. This is the secondary follicle with theca interna, theca externa with primary oocyte. This is the antral follicle. This is the Graphene follicle where ovulation has occurred. Yes, this is the Graphene follicle. This is the Corpus Luteum. This is the Corpus albicans. So from here to here, my follicles were developing under the secretion of FSH. Yes, so this is known as the follicular phase, guys. From here to here, this entire phase is the follicular phase. Follicular phase. नहीं दिख रहा क्षति पेन से. This entire phase is the follicular phase. So till here it is follicular. Yes, yes. During my follicular phase only estrogen was being secreted. Yes, and due to that estrogen only proliferation of the endometrium was there. Proliferation of endometrium was there. This proliferation of endometrium due to this estrogen only. So proliferative phase of my uterus is coinciding with the follicular phase of the proliferative phase of the uterus of the menstrual cycle is coinciding with the follicular phase of the ovary. Yes, yes. After the follicular phase, my corpus luteum is formed, which is secreting what? Progesterone, which is maintaining the endometrium. So the secretion of the progesterone is known as the secretory phase. What is this known as? Secretory phase. Secretory phase is a phase of ovary. Now, what will this secretory phase coincide with? Secretory phase coincide with secretion is there. From here till here, secretion is there. Secretory phase will coincide with our secretory phase will coincide with our sorry guys, sorry, wrong, sorry. Follicular phase ovary mein it will be luteal phase. Corpus luteum is forming, right? Corpus luteum is forming, right? It is called luteal phase, and inside the uterus it is secretory phase. Secretory phase. So my luteal phase, the corpus luteum ka phase where progesterone is secreted, it is called secretory phase of the uterus or luteal phase of the ovary. Yes, this is there. This is all there. Now, at the end of my luteal phase, there is no progesterone now. There is no progesterone. So there is progesterone withdrawal. At this point, there is progesterone withdrawal. Due to the progesterone withdrawal, there will be bleeding phase from the uterus. There will be bleeding phase from the uterus. Did you understand this entire, small thing that I have done? Yes, yes. I think you have understood. Ovarian. Similarly, another circle you can draw and write the cervical changes, but that is not necessary for the menstrual cycle. Yes, yes. So all this is there. All this is there. So I think I can now summarize. I will see if there is anything else to be told over here in this. Just a second. Yes, I think I should summarize only. 1 second. 1 second, I will see. If you want, I can 10 clinical points also after this. Yes. So I will summarize and then I'll tell the clinical points. Then I think we can discuss. और क्या है डिस्कस करने के लिए इसमें क्या बोला था मैं इसमें menstruation, ये development of gonad, nothing else. So yes. So now I will summarize. This is baby. Same story के जैसा remember. This is baby. For formation of baby, I should have gametes. And also have that environment for the gametes. Yes. Just this is the fallopian tube. Yes. This is the ovary. Yes. This is my developing baby. Inside the developing baby, beside the notochord, I will have the ridge. Yes. Inside the ridge, I will have the germ cells. Yes. Where they are coming from? They are coming from the Yolk Sac Mesoderm. Yes, yes. A molecule is helping somewhere or the other. I will be telling some extra points also. If you want, you can note down. Yes, yes. A molecule, a hormone, or a substance is helping these channeling, these migration of my Yolk Sac Mesoderm to the genital ridge in the intermediate mesoderm. That molecule, that substance ka name is teloferron, guys. What is that called? टेलीफेरॉन फिजियोलॉजी में इंपॉर्टेंट है, टेलीफेरॉन, फेरॉन, टेलीफेरॉन, टेली मतलब मूवमेंट ना, दूर जाना को टेली बोलते हैं, टेलीफोन, यस यस, this is teleferon, this protein hai, kya hai nahi malum, but this substance is helping in the migration, the teleferon. Now this genital ridge will develop into my ovary. This is the ovary. So this is the puberty ka ovary, this is the baby, inside the baby, fetal life ka ovary. So this all migrated cells are now known as the oogonium. Oogonium will divide, undergo mitotic division and form primary oocyte. Primary oocyte, this primary oocyte has not undergone any meiosis till now. It will undergo meiosis and get stuck in the prophase 1 of the meiosis. It will get stuck in the prophase of the meiosis 1. Now this prophase of the meiosis 1, this is known as primary oocyte, which is present over here. Primary oocyte. So follicle, primordial follicle, secondary follicle. Yes, this is the primary follicle, this is the secondary follicle, this is the Graphene follicle, this is the corpus luteum, and this is the, anyone who is leaving, please fill the feedback forms. And this is the corpus albicans. Why we are calling this corpus luteum? Because inside the granulosa cells and theca cells over here, there will be fat deposition. What is the source of progesterone? Progesterone, अच्छा वो एक बहुत important चीज है, next class में मैं बोलता हूँ. That is nothing but how cholesterol is formed. Biochemistry का है वो. How cholesterol वो 17 pregnenolone ये वो पूरे रहते ना. I have very good trick for that for you all to remember. I will tell you progesterone, how it is derived, cholesterol, how it is derived, how androgen is derived, androstenedione, all एक अच्छा flow chart है. You can remember that. Yes. So progesterone is nothing but it is derived from cholesterol. Cholesterol is the precursor for progesterone. Yes. So this is lipid laden cells seen as yellow color, so it is known as yellow को क्या बोलते हैं, luteum बोलते हैं ना, ठीक है. So that is known as the corpus luteum. Yes, this is the corpus luteum. This is taking place, this proliferation of my follicles is taking place under the influence of FSH, which is being secreted from the pituitary. Yes. Now this developing follicles will secrete estrogen. This estrogen will inhibit the FSH and stimulate the LH secretion and cause LH surge. Meanwhile, the estrogen will also cause the proliferation of my endometrium. Then what will happen? Then this LH surge will cause primary oocyte to develop into the secondary oocyte. Yes, by resuming the meiosis 1, and this is the secondary oocyte or the ovum, which is released, which is catched by this fallopian tube, which has come to the ampullary isthmus junction. Yes, this is ovulation has occurred. Now this Graphene follicle after ovulation is now known as the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum will secrete the progesterone, guys. It will secrete the progesterone, and progesterone will maintain and decrease the proliferation of the endometrium, guys. Now this if fertilization take place, then this fertilized ovum will now come, zygote will now come, blastocyst and implant, and pregnancy will continue. If there is no fertilization, how this can continue, how pregnancy can continue? My syncytial trophoblast will secrete beta HCG, which will maintain my corpus luteum. If pregnancy is not there, if fertilization is not there, no syncytial trophoblast, no beta HCG, no maintenance of the corpus luteum, that means progesterone is now withdrawn. Due to progesterone withdrawal, there will be bleeding, the menstrual phase. So what are the three phases? The follicular phase, the luteal phase, and the luteal phase of the ovary. Then the proliferative phase, the secretory phase, and the menstrual phase of the uterus. This is nothing but menstrual cycle till your life or till your final year. You have to remember in the same way. Don't get confused. हर एक book में अलग तरीके से दिया हुआ रहेगा. This is the simplest most thing that I could tell. So what you do, उनकी लुबना थे, कौन थे नहीं मालूम. She sent that beautiful cranial nerve integrated wala pic that is very useful. With meticulous detail she has drawn that. So similarly, I request some people to, in one page, whatever class I told today, in one page you draw that abstract, which what I told, abstract, sit just for 1 hour, send that abstract to me, please. Yes, that will be helpful for us, for you, and for everyone. Yes. So I also can see how much you have understood. Now let us see some of the clinical aspects over here. Yes. So my clinical aspects. This is the uterus. This is the vagina. Yes. This is the embryol and this is the ovary. So clinical aspects will be related to bleeding only. Yes. This is the bleeding. Yes. If there is excessive bleeding, what is the normal amount of bleed that is having? That will be there. my menstrual fluid, the menstrual fluid will have inside the pad what it will have. Yes, what it will have. It will have 35 ml of blood and 35 ml of serous fluid. So 70 to 75 ml of what? 75 ml of fluid will be there. Yes, in the form of clots. Yes. So menstrual history may, when you go to the gynecology department during the history taking, you have to also ask how many pads do they use, so that we get an idea of how much menstrual fluid is being secreted. If that is more menstrual fluid, more than 85 to be precise, more than 85 ml, if it is there, it is known as menorrhagia. So what is menorrhagia? Excessive bleeding more than 85 ml per cycle is known as the menorrhagia, guys. Yes. What are the causes of menorrhagia? Infinite causes are there for menorrhagia. Yes, fibroid can be there. Any problem can cause menorrhagia. Yes, no, I don't want to discuss that now. Yes, what is hypomenorrhea? If less than 50 ml of less than 5 ml of fluid is secreted, hypomenorrhea. What is oligomenorrhea? Oligomenorrhea means longer duration of cycles. Longer duration of cycle is known as oligomenorrhea. What is the normal duration of the menstrual cycle? It is 28 days, guys. Yes, it is 28 days. Normally it is 28 days. One more thing I want to tell you. This is menses bleeding period lasting for 5 days. Then this is another bleeding period lasting for 5 days. Between these two bleeding period will be my menstrual cycle, which will be for 28 to 35 days. If it is greater than 35 days, it is called oligomenorrhea. If it is greater than 35 days, it is known as oligomenorrhea. Normally we consider it to be 28 days. When will my ovulation take place? Ovulation takes place 14 days prior to the menses will be ovulation. So if it is 28 day cycle, it will be on the 14th day. If it is a 35 day cycle, it will be 35 minus 14 day. So 14 days prior to the menstrual bleed. So the second half of the cycle is constant. So menses जब भी हो रहा उसके 14 days पहले जब भी ovulation हो रहा, just 14 days after that there will be menstrual bleed. So this part of the cycle can vary, but this part of the cycle is constant, guys. Yes, is it constant? Yes, I think it is constant. Yes. Then what is metrorrhagia? Metro train. What is metrorrhagia? Metrorrhagia means intermenstrual bleed is known as metrorrhagia. What is that? Metrorrhagia. Yes, metrorrhagia. What is menometrorrhagia? Menometrorrhagia. Yes. Menometrorrhagia means excessive intermenstrual bleed. Excessive intermenstrual bleed. यहाँ पे हो जा रही bleed. Between the two menses, there is bleed. Though menometrorrhagia and metrorrhagia. Yes, excessive bleed between two menstrual period. Menstrual period is nothing but menometrorrhagia. Normal amount of bleed between two menstrual period is known as metrorrhagia, guys. Yes, another one term is there for metrorrhagia. I'm forgetting. नहीं याद आ रहा. ठीक है? Let me see if there is something else for me to discuss over here. Otherwise, whoever is leading, please fill the feedback form. Yes, I think we can end the session over here. Other few 2-3 topics are there, which are small topics. I'll discuss in another session. And coming sessions, some people were requesting me to take on clinical aspects. Just the clinical aspects they were requesting me to take sessions upon. Clinical aspects of all the anatomy, clinical aspects of all the physiology, so that they can write the applied anatomy or applied physiology at least in a good manner. I'm planning for that session, and other sessions, if time permits, I can take. Yes, I think Nusrat will be taking cervical fascia session tomorrow, Monday or day after tomorrow. She'll be taking a session on cervical fascia, and I think she'll be covering triangles of the neck also in that. Then we'll see further sessions if we can take. We'll add some other points. Please fill the feedback forms. Have anyone shared the feedback forms in the group? I think I should only